I must be missing something. Kimpton is usually S tier for well-located, vibey city hotels. So what on earth is going on with the brand new Kimpton Naluria in Kuala Lumpur? This is not the experience I was expecting from the brand. Let's dive in. Welcome to Kuala Lumpur, land of incredible food and not so incredible new mega towers. Be it Merdeka 118 or here at Tun Razak Exchange, the city seems determined to build these things within their own closed-off, confusing, sterile mini neighborhoods. With the labyrinth of tunnels, parking structures, and shopping facilities beneath us, here at the quote-unquote ground level, we're actually elevated from the real street by, I would guess, 4 or 5 floors. Because of the location, there's almost something comically mismatched about this Kimpton, located right in the middle of it. A district so sterile, so over-engineered that it feels less like a neighborhood and more like a very expensive concept of one. If you were tasked with designing the least lifestyle environment possible, you'd probably land somewhere pretty close to this. The hotel itself is a new addition to the scene, opening in late 2025 with just over 400 rooms, and it represents Kimpton Hotels planting a very deliberate flag in Malaysia. Now, Kimpton as a brand has always leaned heavily into this idea of lifestyle. In hotel speak, that usually translates to locally inspired design, social spaces that feel more like a living room than a lobby, and just enough personality to convince you that this isn't your standard business hotel. On the ground floor, we enter into a small lobby space with a coffee kiosk on the left and a small amount of seating on the right. To check in, we need to head up to the lobby proper. Globally, they do have the scale to prove that narrative. With over 75 properties worldwide under IHG, their parent company, Kimpton has built a reputation around being design-forward, slightly quirky, and just independent feeling enough to justify the positioning. Among the lifestyle brands out there, I've always felt that they were the grown-up in the room. Their designs are always a bit more restrained than the likes of W Hotels, for example. At Naluria, we do see the lifestyle design philosophy come through a bit. The interiors lean heavily into texture and contrast, with a mix of local references, but then a lot of internationally safe design choices. It's polished, but it leaves you wanting a little bit more. So TRX, the neighborhood we're in now, is being marketed as Kuala Lumpur's next big lifestyle hub, and while it's undeniably clean, organized, and cohesive, it's also missing that chaotic, organic energy that actually makes a place feel alive. Which makes the whole positioning of Naluria as a lifestyle hotel feel just a touch beyond being aspirational. Like the hotel showed up early to a party that hasn't started yet. Naluria, by the way, is a made-up word meant to mean the pursuit of happiness by following one's inner voice, combining Naluri, which is instinct, and Ria, which means joy. Wow. I mean, the Kool-Aid is just flowing. On the top floor, you'll find the outdoor pool, a bar, and the fitness center. And you have now seen all of the common lounging or working spaces of the hotel. Note that there is no spa or anything like that. Let's actually take a look at where we are. The development is centered around Exchange 106, that giant black tower, and is located on the south edge of what most would consider central Kuala Lumpur. Looking at this graphic, it might seem like there's loads to do within walking distance, but just keep in mind that all of this is within the mall that is below the hotel. And that mall you can access directly from the guest room elevators. If you want to walk or drive to other sites in the area, you'd be wise to start from the mall rather than the hotel lobby. From the Kimpton's lobby to Pavilion Mall is 850 meters as a crow flies. If you want to drive, it's 3.5 kilometers. Half of that distance is essentially getting out of the complex. Let's go check out my room. I booked a standard king room and was upgraded to a golf view king a few days before arriving with IHG Platinum status. If this hotel was a building from the 80s that had been converted into a hotel, I would say this room was a fantastic take on what could be done. But as a new build, I don't understand the point of designing smaller rooms like this in a market that near universally offers larger than average rooms. And the window. Look at the facade of the building. It's all glass. It's brand new. Where's all the glass inside? Anyway, I'll let you have a quick look around as I put up the extra bits. I got a decent deal on the room with IHG points, coming in at a value that is lower than most cash rates. I'd note that originally I had a cash rate of $179 booked for months, and then around a month before my stay, good value points redemptions became available. In case you're not familiar with Kuala Lumpur's hotel market, it is one of the most affordable ones in the world. The prices here at the Kimpton would be pushing the high side even if this hotel was in the city's most central location. My choice of hotels in KL remains the Hyatt-centric city center, which is generally around $100 a night, has a much more aesthetic pool than here, and a great location. If you're enjoying the video and would like to support the channel, there are many ways that you could do so. A quick like on the video and subscribe helps with the algorithm, or you could check out my Patreon, linked in the description below. On Patreon, I post everything from early access or Patreon-only videos, newsletters, my best tips and tricks to save money on travel, glimpses behind the scenes, detailed advanced itinerary maps, and much, much more. Think of it as a toolbox to save money on or simply improve your next trip, especially if it's to Southeast Asia. If you have questions about upcoming travel, I can help with that too. Whatever you do though, thanks very much for doing it. For dinner, there are two options, Sabatos and Twai and Till. I had other dinner plans, so I wanted to check out Sabatos for lunch, but contrary to having lunchtime hours online, it wasn't actually open when I arrived. So let's go straight into the breakfast spread. The restaurant is very nicely done and split into two seating sections, which also each have different buffet selections on offer. Entering the restaurant to the right is mostly Western food, and then to the left is mostly Malay and other regional dishes. On a whole, the buffet was comprehensive, but service in the first hour that they were open was somewhere between slow and invisible. They're coming in at a 6. I don't want to sound more like a broken record than I know I already am, but if you want to know what I had been expecting from these new big lifestyle hotels, check out my Andaz Bangkok video. In that video, I described why the Kimpton Malai in Bangkok is such a great lifestyle hotel. Better yet, go watch that video. And perhaps that's why my expectations here just weren't met.